Ebony black boots echoed against the pavement as the Crimson Devil stalked the streets of Los Angeles under the cover of night. Her soul-devouring demon blade rested securely in the shed across her back, untouched for now. The wind tugged at the coattails of her crimson trenchcoat, sending them fluttering behind her with every step. A single ponytail trailed down the back of her neck and across her shoulders, swaying in rhythm with her movement. Ranko, daughter of Saul, sister of Mariko, she walked with quiet purpose, her presence sharp and unrelenting. She was hunting something, no, someone, a powerful presence she hadn't felt in centuries. Long ago, Ranko had barely survived an encounter with the legendary Dark Knight Sparta, a demon who turned against his own kind of Vergil by many as a hero, but Sparta was dead. Of that she was certain, and yet this all. Turning the corner, she came face to face with a man in Azure standing tall in the center of the street as if summoned by fate itself. You weak of an aura have not felt an over 5 centuries, she said coolly, her voice devoid of emotion. Who are you? The wind whispered between the alleyways, but the figure in blue stood motionless, unbothered, unmoved, unafraid. His long silver hair cascaded past his shoulders, eyes like blades cutting through the night. Yamato, the spectral blade of separation, rested calmly at his side. The aura around him humming with ancient, refined power. He heard her words, the weight of centuries in her voice, a predator's voice, but Fuzzo had faced predators before, and became something far worse. He slowly turned his head to face her, calm, cold, controlled. 5 centuries is a long time to clean the field. His voice was quiet, yet sharp as the edge of Yamato. Sparta was my father. Whatever you survived back then, it wasn't me. A faint smirk crossed his lips, impenetrable to most but deliberate. Still, I suppose I should thank you. For living this long, it's rare to meet someone whose blood might be what's spilling. With the gentlest motion, first her hand moved to the hilt of Yamato. Not charmed, not yet, but the intention was clear. He was mesmerizing her. You may call me Fuzzo, and if you're here to test me, he took one step forward, prepared to be disappointed. Fuzzo, she muttered, tasting the name like a sharper venom on her tongue. The son of that demon slayer is no friend of mine. However, Ranko stepped forward, her white hand tightened around the hilt of Kazo, the sword-devouring blade filled by demons and mortals alike, regardless of strength or stature. Perhaps your soul may find a distance to my collection. With slow, deliberate motion, she shook Kazo from his shed. The blade was as black as her boots, outlined by a faint red glow. Low whispers walls from it, shielding an instant the voices of those consumed by its power, damned to eternal unrest. If I can't have my revenge on Sparta, she said, lifting the blade, then killing his son will have to do. Ranko sharpened to a battle stance. Kazo pointed squarely at Fuzzo's heart, her crimson eyes narrowed. The next move was his. Fuzzo stood unmoved, even as the whip of the cursed blade reached his ears. He'd heard screams before, millennia of them, and this was no different, just another chorus in the background of eternity. She pointed her sword at his heart. He didn't flinch. Then allow me to show you, he said, showing Yamato with a sudden, fluid grace, the difference between vengeance. The air around him split in an instant, reality itself parting with a shriek as Yamato slid forward in a blue arc of spectral energy. A strike not just of steel, but of real measure, precise, impossible to track by ordinary eyes. In power. First off, Phantoms teleporting with a blink, reappearing behind Ranko in a flash that distorted air. Another cut followed, this time aimed to test her defenses, not to kill, not yet. He turned slightly, Yamato held low, his voice calm as ever. You speak of collecting souls as if they were trophies. A pause. All I ever collected is strength. He narrowed his eyes, ready for the sheer fight to begin. Let's see if you earn your place among the fallen. Ranko had lived a long time, longer than most mortals could dream, long enough to know one shoot above all. She understood speed. Her crimson eyes locked onto Fuzzo's movement. Centuries of battle-hardened instinct guided her, the power in her half-demon blood sharper than her reflexes, beyond human limits. Even as Fuzzo blurred through space and time, she shot him with supernatural precision. Then came the teleport. Her instincts roared to life. Ranko spun on her heel, a perfect 180, and waved Castle just in time to catch the arc of Yamato's blade. The clap rang out like a thunderclap. Castle hissed, angry, alive, repelling a special steel as it shielded its missiles from the Azure Devil strike. Then Ranko spoke, words few had ever dared to say to Fuzzo and live. Too slow. But she didn't force the class. Instead, she stepped back with a flawless control and countered, swinging Kazuo in a single swift horizontal strike meant to test the Blue Devil defenses. The dance had begun. The moment Kazuo hissed through the air, Fuzo responded not with panic but with precision. In a blow of blue light and cold steel, he shifted Yamato in a tight arc and vanished as his Ranko blade swept through the space he once occupied. Her strike found only air, shelling inwards in its wake. Not bad, came his voice from above. Fuso reappeared mid-air, flipping once before landing behind her in a cross. Yamato glimmering with spectral energy. Without a word, he shoved the blade into the ground. A hum tore through the sheet, followed by the eruption of a sharp cut, a whirlwind of slashes and suspended time, tearing through the air around Ranko like a collapsing dimension. He stood slowly, watching. You're fast, Shane, but you're not Sparta. Another Sherman cut whipped through the space to her left, then her right, closing in like fangs of void. He wasn't just testing her anymore, he was analyzing. Kazuo devoured souls, but I split them. Yamato rose again, his grip never faltering. Let's see what's her leads whole. In the blink of an eye, Fuso closed a distant blade charm, aiming a downward slash meant to carve through her guard and force a shield reaction. This time he wasn't holding back. Ranko remained perfectly still, standing between the collapsing arcs of spectral blade. She moved only with necessary memorable steps, maximum control, evading each Sherman cut with surgical precision, not a scratch touched her. When Fuso descended with a powerful downward slash, Ranko met it with an upward swing of Kazuo. The classic double arms rang out like a war cry. Steel meeting steel, power meeting power. She didn't force the blade forward. Instead, she stepped back, never once breaking eye contact. Her crimson gaze remained locked on the Azure Devil. No, I'm not Sparta. She sidestepped light on her feet and lunged forward. In one smooth fluid motion, Ranko reeled back her arm and shoved Kazuo forward, aiming the pill's Fuzo's chest and heart in one decisive thrust. But I'm a close second. Time slowed, or so it seemed. As Ranko blade surged forward with deadly intent, Fuzo's eyes narrowed, reading her every motion. Kazuo aimed for his heart, but the Azure Devil did not yield. With the smallest shift in weight, Fuso shifted his torso, letting the tip of her blade gaze the edge of his coat rather than flesh. A narrow dodge, intentional, deliberate. He pivoted, letting her momentum carry her forward just enough. In a flash, he brought Yamato up along the outside of her thrust. Steel scraping against steel in a brief yet brutal deflection, sparks flew as the two blades kissed and recoiled. He didn't counter immediately. He stood tall again, gaze unshaken, voice cool. A close second, he repeated as if mulling it over. Interesting. You believe yourself near Sparta's level. A faint exhale escaped his lips, not quite a laugh, more like an acknowledgement. Then I suppose you won't break easily. With a snap of motion, he launched a precise sidekick, aimed at her mid-session, measured and fast, not to kill but to stagger and create distance. He followed by sliding one foot back, raising Yamato in a high guard stance. His eyes sharpened. Show me more. Ranko absorbed the blow of her mid-chest and belly, flinching, her unnatural double warrior durability taking most of the impact in stride. She leaned back, shifting her body fluidly to create space between them, at least for now. Tell me, son of Sparta, she said, voice low and cutting. She brought her arms together in a seamless motion, then unleashed a rapid succession of vertical strikes aimed straight for Fuzo's skull. The razor-sharp edges promised to cleave him in two if he failed to defend. How does it feel, she taunted, living in your father's shadow? If Kazuo met flesh, it would begin to defile the Blue Devil's soul, just as it had with countless warriors before him. I shed mine long ago. Fuso met the flurry of vertical strikes with effortless grace. His eyes narrowing at each blade, threatened to find its mark. His hands moved with practiced precision, parrying and redirecting Kazuo's daily arcs using Yamato's slender blade. The air around him hummed with tension as the sharp steel met sharp steel in a deadly rhythm. Fuso's movement was fluid but unhurried, conserving energy while maintaining absolute control. With a sudden sharp inhale, he seized an opening, a fleeting gap in Ranko's assault. In a blink, Fuso's fans reappeared behind her with the silent swiftness. Of a ghost. His hand gripped Yamato's hilt, and with a practiced flick, he executed a precise Sherman cut, a slash of special energy aimed to disrupt her balance, not to kill. His voice was low, calm, and filled with quiet authority. You fight well, stronger than most who dare call themselves devil warriors. He paused, eyes cold and calculating. But strength alone won't free you from the shadows you claim to have shed. Yamato glimmered as he pulled back, ready for the next move. Show me what lies beneath. Ranko did more than attack and defend. She watched, she listened, anticipated, predicting. The moment Fuzzo vanished, she knew exactly where he would reappear. Behind her, just like before, she rolled forward, nearly avoiding the deadly stomach cut. Swiftly rising, she swung Castle upward in a powerful arc, closing the distance. Then, with controlled force, she pushed forward, aiming to strike him aside with the flat of her blade. You fight as he did, she said. Was it a compliment or merely an acknowledgement? Her assault continued, relentless, but not driven by waves of primal fury. Every move precise, controlled, deadly. Yet something in you lacks its spirit. Taking a step back, Castle stayed raised and ready. Has the legendary Dark Knight been split in two? Ranko already expected that another held the legacy of the demon who once bested her so long ago. Fuzzle's eye flickered with a hint of something unreadable, neither amusement nor anger. His voice was calm, measured, carrying the weight of centuries. Split in two, perhaps. He shared Yamato slowly, as if savoring the moment. But strength and spirit are not always one and the same. He took a step forward, every movement deliberate, his gaze locked onto hers. You mistake restraint for weakness. My path is not forged in the flames of passion, but in the cold precision of purpose. A faint smug tug at his lip, sharp and knowing. If you wish to understand the legacy of Sparta, look beyond his shadow and into the silence that follows. Yamato blade hummed softly as he shook it once more, ready for whatever came next. Come, show me the depth of your resolve. You speak like a warrior fueled by discipline, the Crimson Devil said. She surged forward a little more than a wet blood, even to the strained eye. Castle swung fiercely, forcing Yamato aside, while her free hand shot out to grapple the Blue Devil, throwing him to the ground with a brutal precision. The sharp tip of Castle pressed against his throat. You have earned my respect, she whispered, voice cold as steel, but that won't save your soul. Fuzzle's eyes flashed with ice but saw the Castle tip pressed to his throat. Calm as ever, he twisted his wit sharply, slipping free from the grip with the fluidity of a shadow. Before Ranko could react, Yamato was in his hand, its blade humming softly with restrained power. With a swift, precise motion, Fuzzle executed a short, controlled slash, not to kill, but to create space. The blue arc cut through the air, forcing Ranko back. His voice was low and measured, shipping with cold confidence. Respect is earned in battle, but souls are not so easily claimed. He took a step forward, blade pulls and eyes locked on hers. Show me then what makes you worthy of such claims. Forced back, Ranko quickly repositioned her footing, both hands tightening around the hilt of Castle. She stepped forward, casually, at first, but then moved like a blur, a flash of crimson light in the night. Her slashes came like explosions in the sky, each strike sinking to claim the Blue Devil's flesh. The red glow bounced wildly around Fuzzle's position as the unnatural, inhuman speed of the Crimson Devil intensified, and then another devastating burst of slashes erupted. Fuzzle's eyes narrowed as the Crimson Stone circled around him. The air crackled with the ferocity of her assault, but he remained unshaken, each slash a challenge, each strike an invitation. With a fluid motion, he shattered Yamato and vanished into a ripple of blue light. The world seemed to pause for a heartbeat. Then, with surgical precision, he reappeared above her, descending in a graceful arc. Yamato sang as it cut through the air, delivering a single, devastating stomach cut, aimed not to kill, but to break her momentum and force a pause. His voice was cold, measured. Speed alone would not decide his fight. He landed lightly, eyes locked on hers, ready for whatever came next. Show me your will beyond the blade. The Crimson Devil shaped through the air a little more than a shed of red light. Effortlessly, it faded into flurry. A spectral slashes from the Azure Devil's stomach cut. Fuzzle strike was precise, but not fast enough to match the raw speed and agility of the Red Devil. She landed at his side, Castle in hand, crimson eye locking onto his. There was no malice in her gaze, only unwavering determination. I agree. Ranko rose to her full height, facing him fully now, ready, composed. But I don't think you're ready to face my will. Fuzzle didn't move. His grip on Yamato remained steady, his expression unreadable, stone-cold and focused. He heard her words, felt the weight behind him, and for a moment, silence. Then he spoke, quietly but with clarity that cut through the air like his blade, then tested. He turned his head slightly, his gaze locking onto hers, not with contempt, but with curiosity and challenge. Impress me, Crimson Devil. Let your will speak louder than your words. With a step forward, Yamato rose once more. The wind stirred, the tension snapped taut. Fuzzo was ready. Ranko's crimson eyes glowed faintly as she slid her right foot forward over her left, shifting into a stance that hinted at an incoming strike. Kazuo was drawn back, poised for a deadly thrust, but it was a bluff. Only one hand gripped the hilt of the massive blade, the other curled into a fist crackling with wild energy of her demonic blood. In an instant, she snapped the fist forward, aiming straight for Fuzzo's shawl, seeking to detonate that infernal energy on impact. The moment her feet hit solid ground, she followed through without hesitation, bringing Kazuo down in her other hand to drive the blade toward his chest, aiming to pierce his heart in a single brutal motion. The moment her fist surged forward, Fuzzo didn't flinch. The demonic energy exploded against his shawl, his head snapping slightly to the side from the force, a well hit. But that was exactly what he wanted. The blow staggered him just enough to shaw her in. He felt the shift in her momentum, the killing intent behind the next motion. Kazuo came down like a guillotine, and yet, predictable. In the flash between heartbeats, Fuzzo vanished, his body dissolving into mist light blue energy as double gang emerged behind her. Blade already missed swinging, Yamato slashed upward in a rising arc, aimed not to kill but to force her into the air and off balance. Fuzzo reappeared a short distance away, calmly wiping a smear of blood from the corner of his mouth. You strike hard. He turned slowly, eyes burning with quiet focus. But even your fury follows a pattern. Yamato lowered slightly, its blade glimmering in the moonlight. Try again. It was a rare day for the Crimson Devil to be caught off guard, but this was one of those moments. The wise and arc of Yamato shook shoes, sending her spinning through the air. Crimson shrieked across her socket as she gripped the hilt of Kazuo tightly in both gloved hands, already calculating her next move. Few understood the shooting nature of Kazuo. It wasn't merely a physical weapon, it was spiritual. A soul-bound blade forced to collect the essence of the fallen and summon them when needed. As gravity pulled her back toward the ground, Ranko raised Kazuo high. Its blackened shell shattered like cracked obsidian with filling a glowing spectral soul of pure green energy, radiating with the power sensory of a soul of souls. The moment her feet touched solid ground, a vacuum-like force tore through the air. The energy swirled violently, aimed straight at the Azure Devil. In that instant, Kazuo became a symptom, seeking to pull Fuzzo's very soul from his body and add it to the thousands already screaming within the blade. The air shifted, bent, howled. Fuzzo felt it instantly. The pull wasn't physical, it was spiritual, far deeper than flesh and blood. Kazuo had shed his shell, and what remained was no mere blade, but a force of nature, green, spectral, hungry. A lesser warrior would have fallen to their knees, but Fuzzo stood his ground. His coat snapped finally in the vacuum as his soul strained under the weight of Kazuo's pull. Yet his hand remained steady, Yamato gleaming faintly. The cold light of his edges resisting the green in front of like a blade of odor holding back chaos. Fuzzo's voice cut through the storm, calm and unwavering. You want my soul? He raised Yamato and slid one foot back, planting his stance to the earth. Then come and take it. And with that he slashed, not at Ranko, but at the air between them, a single, perfect stroke that sewed space itself. The force of the voice slash created a pressure wave that collapsed the vacuum, dispersing the soul's serpentine current into the night sky in an eruption of green mist and special screams. Fuzzo exhaled quietly, stepping forward, the mist cleared. You'll find I'm not so easily claimed. The voice slash shattered the vacuum entirely, and Ranko smiled. Her respect for the Blue Devil deepened, but so did her desire to claim his soul, for she did not collect the weak, only the worthy. Impressive, she said coolly, but you're only delaying the inevitable. With a swift motion, Ranko grabbed her socket and tore it from her back, casting it aside. Beneath, she wore a black sleeveless button-up shirt, leather pants, and matching boots, sleek, fussing on, ready for war. The crimson coat fluttered through the air before landing between them, a banner shot before battle. She raised Kazuo high. A sudden spark of light. Then from the depths of the blade, the souls of the damned surged forward, a phantom warrior from the ages past. The ghostly blade shone. They watched Fuzzo on a spectral shawl, seeking to tear him apart, to weaken his body for the final stroke of Kazuo. Ranko stood behind him like a queen commanding her army, her aura pulsing with cold fire. You're not the only one with gifts. The spirit screamed towards him. Blades waved fences in the hollow eyes, Elysian of the damned, bound to Ranko's will. Fuzzo stood in the center of it all, motionless. Then he moved. Not with desperation, but with elegance. Yamato flies once, tries too fast to count. Each swing carved clean lines of light into the air, disrupting the spiritual forms with surgical precision. One by one, the phantom warriors were cut down, not with brute force, but with the quiet offensively of a swordsman who had mastered the space machine words. Ghostly blades shattered like glass against Yamato's edge. These are not familiars, he said coldly, his coat flowing in the dying wind. They are echoes. He turned his head toward Ranko, eyes narrowing, and I do not feel echoes. The last spectre fell to pieces behind him, its foam dissolved into nothing as Fussel slid Yamato back into his shed with a soft click. His gaze never once beckoned for hers, a single step forward, a statement more than a threat. Now come, if you still believe you can claim me. Ranko reached up and pulled the black band from her ponytail, letting her hair fall freely past her shoulders. In that moment, despite the battlefield, the blood, and the fury, some might have called her beautiful. But beauty had no place here. Her crimson eyes flared brighter, and as she stepped forward, her skin shifted to a deep, burning red. Her pupils narrowed, horns curved from the top of her skull. The crimson devil had fully emerged, no longer with shame, no longer holding back. Then she vanished, also as seen. Ranko moved with such speed it mimicked teleportation, appearing at first on the left with a slash, then as white with another. A breath later, she struck from behind, and finally she reappeared in front of him, bringing Kazo down in a flurry of punishing downward strikes. Each slash burned with green fire, the cursed energy of countless souls. Every cut, every blow sought not just the wound, but to weaken the very essence of his soul. Nothing worth having ever comes easy. First her gaze sharpened as the crimson devil unleashed her sheer form. The air thickened with wild energy of her transformation, red skin, horns, and a ferocity that burned as fiercely as castle of green flames. But Fuzzo did not flinch. With a swift straw, Yamato hummed to life, its edge shimmering like liquid steel under the moonlight. As Ranko's furious strikes came at him from every direction, Fuzzo moved with cold precision, each step calculated, each parry flawless. When the moment was right, he gathered his energy and invoked his own power, not with brute force, but with the elegance of a master. A ripple in the air, a crack in the silence, the unmistakable sound of a stomach cut, a single blinding slash of spectral energy that cleaved through the space between them. Chained without control is chaos, he said quietly, voice steady, eyes locked on hers. I am bolt. Yamato light faded as he shedded the blade, stepping forward with unwavering resolve. Show me what else you have. Ranko dove headlong to the furious stomach cut, summoning a shimmering green barrier from Kazo to shield herself from the spectral slashes. Massive wings unfurled from her back, holding her aloft as the dark power of a devil phone saw fold her red skin shifting to deep black as more of her shoe nasals spilled free. You claim to be both control and chaos, she said, voice steady despite the storm. Descending like a fitful shadow, her arm became a blur, delivering a relentless flurry of strikes incomparable with deadly precision, all wielded with a single unwavering hand. Yet all I see is control. First her eyes flashed with the otherworldly light as shadow killed around him, coalescing into a regal yet fearsome aura. His form shifted, the cold steel Yamato glowing with demonic energy, and his own body radiating powerful, ancient, and relentless. Wings of dark energy unfurled behind him, mirroring Ranko's own transformation as he rose to meet her soul head-on. With a voice like steel and ice, he spoke. Control is the foundation, chaos the catalyst. His strikes were precise but sharp with wild power, each blow crackling with a dark flame that burned through the air. The battle escalated. Two devils unleashed, claiming with the force of storms. Two devils unleashed, clashing with the force of storms. Show me your will beyond the flesh, crimson devil. The clash of the devil form shook the very air, sparks flying with every strike. Castle of green flame met Yamato cold steel in a shower of light and shadow. Both warrior breathed heavy, the body marked with the scars of battle, yet neither willing to yield. Ranko's crimson eyes locked with Fuzzo's icy gaze, each seeing in the other reflecting of their own unyielding will. You have strength beyond most, she said quietly, voice carrying both challenge and respect. And you possess a will that refused to break, Fuzzo replied, his tone steady but sincere. For a heartbeat, the world seemed to hold its breath. Then with a slow nod, Ranko lowered Castle, the green flame dimming as her home was shattered. This battle is not yet over, she murmured, but today we stand equal. Fuzzo shed Yamato and took a step back, the shadow receding from his form. Until next time, crimson devil. They parted, two formidable souls forever bound by the clasp of steel and spirit, each walking away stronger and more determined than before. The city knight embraced him once more, silent witness to a duel that would be remembered for ages to come.